What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Hope everybody's doing well. I just thought I would do a quick little video tonight. I've been talking about it on the community post about maybe doing a video about our trip out west, why we went out there, and kind of do a little series on these videos, starting from beginning to end, and just get right into it and not really, not really try to venture off of this too much. But I just wanted you guys to get an idea of what brought us out west, what took us out there, and it's just sort of a series of events that happened in my life that made me want to travel out there, and it was a great adventure, and turned out that it made us want to go back really bad. So I guess what really started the whole thing is way back in the day when I worked for Saturn. As you guys can tell, the name of our business is Titan Automotive. It doesn't really have anything to do with the channel per se, but I called this Titan because I worked for Saturn pretty much my whole career as an automotive technician, and it went out of business, of course, in 08, 09, and sort of like a lost puppy after that happened. And it was a great place to work. I spent pretty much the majority of my automotive career there. I met my wife there, Keisha, and some really dear, great friends were met and had there at the little dealership. There were 8 of us techs and 2 or 3 advisors and management and stuff, and it was just a really tight-knit, good team, and it was a great place to work. Man, if I had a long weekend, I was excited to get back to work, and it's not easy to find a job that you look forward to going back to work on a Monday or after a long weekend. And this was that job. It was a good time. In the moment, you're probably like, this is the worst place I've ever worked. But looking back on it, it was great. It was a team-based effort. We shut down the shop and got a car fixed that was giving the technician problems. We all teamed up, and it was just a good time. But anyway, I met this fella. He came into work. I forget what year. It may have been, Forrest, you can correct me if I'm wrong about this, 04 maybe, 03. I've been working there a few years already, and my shop foreman had retired, and I'd kind of moved into his spot there, and this young man came in and started working right beside me, and I just instantly became pretty good pals with him, and we helped each other. He was a little bit younger than me, and a little bit huskier in the shoulders. Both of my shoulders were bad, so I'd get him to help me on transmissions, and we became really great friends. And I'll never forget, he had a little photo album when he came to work there, and he handed me that album and said, "Check this out. This is pretty much my backyard." And I looked through it, man, and there was these peaks of mountains that are where our clouds are out here, out east. And as a kid, my grandfather read Louis L'Amour books, the little paperback books, Sackett's, and some of you guys I'm sure have heard of it. Louis L'Amour was just an awesome writer, and when my pop would get done with the book, I would get it and look through it and read it. And later on in my late teens, I started reading them from cover to cover, and I really enjoyed them, and they were all about the American West. And I remember reading a book called Jubal Sackett, which you guys should check out. It's not a very long book. It's one of his really good works. And basically this guy started near where we live here, I think Hiawassee, Georgia. It's definitely fiction, but some of it's kind of written into it that's real. And he pretty much walked from here to Colorado. And it was so awesome, man. You could just feel like when you were reading it, you were living it. It was that kind of book, and he kind of had hardships, and Indians would get after him, and he'd have to put his fire out, and it was just awesome. But he ended up in the Rockies, and I'm telling you, man, just the words written out made it real for me as a kid, and I always wanted to go. But anyway, Forrest came in, my buddy there, and was telling me where he was from, out in the Pacific Northwest, kinda, and showed me some pictures, and it's like his house is in a prairie, the backyard's desert, and the front yard is 10,000-foot peaks or whatever. And it was just like, man, we don't have anything like that. And I remember him telling me he had a Yamaha big wheel 200, I think, and a little Honda Trail 90. And he said, man, I'm pretty sure I can get on that bike and go to Canada. You know, so, and where he lives is pretty far south from Canada. And he's like, I can cross the whole state on dirt, never have to hit pavement. I've never done it, but I'm pretty sure it can be done. So, man, you know, as a dirt biker and a four-wheel rider, a camper, I'm like, it's something we're going to have to do one day. So, Forrest and I become really good friends. And long story short, Saturn went out of business. We went to work for another, the same company, but another division of that company, Honda. And I'm not going to lie, we just both hated the place. It was too big, and it was like a knife in the back type place to work, and we just didn't fit in there. So I started a shop here in my little hometown, and Forrest went back home and started a shop at his hometown. And in 2016, Keisha and I and my daughter took my Suzuki Samurai out there on the back of her Tahoe, and we went out to Colorado and spent a few days in Lake City and did the Alpine Loop in the Samurai and just had a great time. And then we left there and hauled on out to Forrest's place. And we didn't do a whole lot of four-wheeling. Actually, Keisha's Tahoe had a breakdown in Wendover, Utah on I-80 and ended up having a transmission go bad. But we limped it to my buddy's place a couple 100 miles away. He helped us put a trans in it. That took a little bit of the week out, but we went camping and wheeling, and I just fell in love, absolutely fell in love with that area. It didn't take much. It's totally different from here. Here it's hot and sticky, you sweat, you just claustrophobic because the trees are everywhere, and the air's thicker, and out there it's like medicine for the soul, man. Everything that I had written, or I had watched or read in those Louis L'Amour books were coming to life. Dry air, a great place to just hang out and camp, and just medicine for the soul, man. It was a great time. And we didn't really do any dirt biking on that trip, but like I said, that was in 2016. So we came back, started planning another trip out there, and life happens. You know, the business is being really busy. And so in summer of 23, Cody and I planned another trip out there. As many of you guys know, you've seen the videos up here on the TV screen there. That's our camp where we camped out with Forrest there in the Sawtooths. But anyway, Cody's dad, that's his Nissan there, Armada. He took that Armada from here out in South Carolina and hauled her bikes out there for us. Got that campsite before we ever got there. So we got in the airplane, and Forrest picked us up there at his place. And we camped for 6 or 7 days right there on that spot on the Boise River. And man, what a time it was. We just had a great time. We cooked out. We told stories of times went by. Forrest and his son, Alec, and his work buddy, Justin, were there. And we pretty much just used this here as a base camp. We took the CT and the T-dubs, and we just rode from here all over, you know, that part of Idaho, and absolutely had a great time. That's Cody's campsite, camp tent there and everything. But anyway, it was great friendship. We had a good time. But that's the reason we went out there. I started as a kid really loving the American West, talking with my dad about where should I go. He's like, you should go to Colorado and ride. Reading Louis L'Amour, and just growing up loving the American West, watching Bonanza, you know, and just, man, I think I should have been born out that way or something. And then meeting Forrest, which he was born and raised there in the American West, and told me so many stories about him and his dad working on things, super old Willis Jeeps that nothing rust out there, you know. So we just had a good time, and we're going to definitely try to go back every couple of years if we can. But that's the reason I wanted to make the video, is just let you guys know, you know, why did we go out 2,800 miles from here when we got some trails around here? Well, it's just different out there. So if you guys haven't seen the Great American West, you need to get out there, man. I don't really want to give away like specific trail names and things like that because they get abused. This is pristine wilderness. you pay $12 to the local government, and you can ride this entire length of this state, width of this state, and it's just a good time. But I really want people to respect it and not take 300 horsepower side-by-sides up the trails that I talk about and tear them up, because they are losing some riding rights in some places because people have been stupid and tear it up, you know. So, but this is Cody and I riding some single track here, just right from camp. We were just sitting around camp, and we just jumped on the bikes and went and hit some single track. And you can ride literally thousands of miles of this single track for $12, you know, for the whole year. And man, what a time it was. I will say that Cody and I were definitely not cut out for some of this. As you'll see as the video plays, there's some just treacherous side hill exposure, and I never really got used to it. I think eventually I will, because to be able to get to some of the really awesome places, you just have to tolerate it. And as time went on, the further we rode, we kind of realized that you just put it out of your mind and go, you know. I mean, we have that side hill stuff here, but there's trees to catch you. So, but you can see here some of the and the camera does it no justice. If you fell left there, you're going to be there for hours getting your bike out with a winch or something. But anyway, I just wanted to give a big shout out to Forrest and his family for giving us the time, you know, allowing us to come out, and all the hospitality and just the good camaraderie at camp. Man, we had a great time. But it was really a highlight of my riding career. We really had a good time. Another friend of mine has done some videos on his trips out there, and I had watched them. Like, man, we just got to get out here and go ride this, man. So, but anyway, back to Cody's dad. He hauled the bikes out there for us. We met up with him, and we rode about 7 days, just around this area here. Just really good times. And ended up, Forrest had told me that his family had an old mining claim. I think it had been in their family since the 50s, maybe. So he took us up to there on one particular day, in a route that he's taken in a Jeep and dirt bike 100 times probably. But he took us up there, man, and it was everything that he had said it was. It was pristine wilderness, fresh air, crystal clear water, you know, 9,000 feet or more. But the little TW200s, they did great. Now, his CT125 struggled a little bit. If you go on the Idaho playlist on our channel here, and I'll try to link some of this stuff below for you guys. Oh, and by the way, stick around to the end of this video. I've got a couple little things I want to give away. This is a camera here that Vantru, this company Vantru, sent me. They wanted me to install it, but I really haven't had time, so I've worked with them, and they're going to let me give it away. It's a forward and rear facing HD camera. I'm going to give this away tonight. And I've also got if you have a CT125, Trail 125, I've got a ball mount camera mount, ball mount phone mount that mounts to the handlebars. So, pretty nice. This is from Kimimoto. And what we're going to do, I'll talk about it here at the end of the video and show you this stuff. But basically, all you have to do is comment down on the video, whatever you want to. And on Thanksgiving night, before midnight, I'll select the winner, and then I'll announce the winner that following Friday. So we'll do it that way. But anyway, stick around to the end, and we'll talk some more about how to do that. Anyway, back to the trail stuff. We pretty much came into Forest Town, spent the night there at his place, and went straight to camp. Spent 7 days there with him, and then Cody and I turned and headed north. And what we'll do is we'll try to break it down, and I'll start doing these videos maybe every week or every other week if I get time, and we'll talk about a little bit about where we rode and what we did and that kind of thing. But we pretty much ended up traveling about 1,300 miles on T-dubs all the way to Wallace, Idaho. So we had a good time, and you can go and watch all these videos. They're in order, kind of how we, where we went and how we did it and that type thing. So, but anyway, that's why we rode out west and why we'll continue to go back. So something pretty cool happened. I fell in love with the area out there so much that I decided I'd like to try to find a place out there maybe someday to retire to. I don't really want to leave South Carolina because I have family here and this is home, but I sure would like to have a place out there to escape to during the summers on vacation. So Keisha and I have been looking. We don't really have any money, but it was like, man, this would be great if we could figure it out. So I found this fella that was a retired miner. And at first I thought it was a scam maybe because the property was super cheap. I really didn't understand about it. It just had it advertised as a 20-acre mining claim. And he had several mining claims in eastern Idaho, which is about 3 hours from my buddy's place there on the Wyoming borders where this claim is. And I thought, I don't know if this is true or not. So I ended up calling the guy and he's like, yeah, look, we're from out east actually. And my dad and I were miners. We had 10 claims out west. And I'm in my 70s. And my wife is not really feeling like doing this anymore. So we're retiring and we're selling the claims. But you can't really sell the property because it's Federal Bureau of Land Management, federal government property. He said, but basically what I'm charging for is me going out and driving 4 stakes in the ground and finding minerals on the property and proving it to the BLM that we found the minerals and doing the paperwork. So you're basically getting a deed for what's in the ground and it just transfers and you're basically paying him for doing the legwork, and it was super dirt cheap. So I did some homework and I found out that it's pretty much a guaranteed campsite for us if we go out and do some mining there and set up a base camp. So if somebody's hunting, fishing, or doing whatever you do on BLM land, and we come to mine pan gold, it's a placer claim, then we pretty much have the right to camp there for, I think, 14 days maybe, or maybe longer than that. I need to study on that. But anyway, it's Fremont County, and I did some double checking, and everything's legit. So we're going to have a base camp there. We're going to go out there this summer, and we'll try to film it. And take the side-by-side and the T-dubs, hopefully, and let the family ride around. And, it's basically at the base of the Tetons and throw a rock and hit Yellowstone. So, got a couple of friends in eastern Idaho I'm going to meet up with. And then we might try to ride, if we could find a dirt route, ride and meet up with Forrest. Or he may come out to us or whatever. We're going to figure something out. But anyway, that's kind of the plan. And hopefully someday we could find a little piece of property there and have a little small cabin to escape to during the summers maybe, and maybe even retirement move out that way. I really love it out there. I don't want to impede on anybody, but man, what a place. I mean, if you guys go and watch the whole series, especially towards the end, Cody and I both just absolutely love that area. And I know, don't get me wrong, you got 2 months of nice weather and the rest of the time's freezing and, 10 foot of snow. I get it. It would definitely be something to adjust to. But, man, those 2 months of riding, to me, are absolutely worth it. So, I know, I always wondered, wonder why Forrest didn't ride more as a kid. It's like, because he was gathering wood to survive the crazy winters. That's exactly why. And working, so work happens, and not quite retirement age yet, but man, I'm looking forward to that someday. So, but anyway, I'm not going to bore you guys with a million different things about it. I just wanted to start here and show you guys kind of the single track. This is some of the first riding that we did while we're out there, just Cody and I together. And what we'll do is we'll try to do these videos every week or every other week, and I'll go, this was pretty much the first video that's playing right now, and we'll try to go out there and go through the videos a little bit and talk about the specific area. But this area is about 30 miles north of where my buddy lives. It's his backyard. Really, it's just incredible, man. Just breathtaking wilderness. You just have to go see it to understand it. I mean, Cody took his trout rod and we caught some trout, and just, man, we just absolutely don't have the mountains that they have here out east. I mean, I love home and everything, but it's another world out there, And It's just a good place to be. So, but anyway, this is the first video in this series, and I really appreciate you guys. I haven't been able to do as many videos this summer and in the spring as I'd like to. We've just been busy. Cody's been doing a lot of hunting, and it's just been tough to get together and ride, and my shop's been crazy. My daughter plays ball, so I apologize, but I did do some camping and put it up on YouTube of local camping on the T-Dub and riding the CT. And I'm having some really serious issues with my Hero 9, so I've swapped to the DJI Osmo Action 4. And I really like it, but I've still yet to perfect the mic. It's fine if I'm riding solo, but if I try to do my rig like I have the Hero 9, I have a lot of like static and stuff, so I'm trying to sort that out. But that DJI, it instant on, instant off. The battery lasts 10 times longer. It never glitches out like the Hero 9. I'm thinking possibly of getting a new GoPro, like maybe a 12 or 13, and giving that one more shot, because I know GoPro's kind of like Nike tennis shoes. It may not be the best camera in the world, but that Hero 9 was pretty solid for a while until it started glitching out. So, we'll see how that goes, but that's really a big reason. I had some corrupt files from that thing glitching out. An entire trip to Banner Elk, North Carolina, which absolutely got almost destroyed during the hurricane, so you guys think about those guys. But before all that went down, I took a whole day trip up there, and the whole day was lost because of faulty footage. It got just a little bit, but that's kind of how it goes. And then I went to check on my buddy up in Balsam Grove, North Carolina, after the hurricane, and all that footage got lost. So it's just a lost cause with that Hero 9. I've just been trying to cling on to it because I was used to it and I really like it. But I think the DJI probably has just as good of quality, and definitely just as good of steadiness. You know, the action cameras really keep the video steady, and the DJI is doing really good. But maybe I'll get a drone someday too, especially when we go out west. That would be really nice, just to update the channel a little bit and start doing a little bit better footage for you guys. But I recently recorded a little trip up to Hot Springs, and that did really good, and that's doing okay on the channel here. So you guys make sure and stick around for it. Go on this Idaho playlist here if you never have, and check it out. It's really worth watching. It's one of my best playlists, my favorite, and it's done the best. I think the last day, the video from the last day absolutely did great. It's got, I think, 50,000 views maybe, or 40,000 or something. So that's pretty good for the content we do. So, but anyway, let's give this stuff away, guys, not to bore you to death and have a 2-hour-long video. So this here is a ball mount. If you've got a CT 125, Trail 125, this, and you use a ram mount or a quad lock, you could use a quad lock that uses a ball mount. This bolts down here onto the handlebar, top of the handlebar, triple tree. It's got all the hardware in it. I checked it out, put it on mine, and it fits really good. And then the ball fits here, and you can put your ram mount ball. I think it's the smaller ball, but this is pretty quality stuff. Kimimoto, I promised them I would talk about it and give it away, and I appreciate those guys for reaching out to me and trusting us enough to do that. So all you have to do, go down in the comment section, comment whatever you want. Nothing matters. We'll do random.org. I'll pick a winner on Thanksgiving night before midnight. So get in there before midnight. Make sure you comment before then. And that's all you have to do. Be sub to the channel and comment. That's it. That's all it takes. Alright, same thing goes for this Vantrue camera. Now, I did some studying on this and took it all out of here and opened it. It's all there. It looks pretty cut and dry. You just have to power it up for your battery, and everything else just plugs right in. And it has a little camera that faces forward and one that faces back. And if I'm not mistaken, it does HD. Let me read here. 4K front facing, 1080p rear, 30 frames per second, Sony sensors, voice notification. I believe there's an app to use for your cell phone. So this is pretty cool. I just don't really have the correct bike for this, to be honest with you. So I talked with them and they said, yes, it will be fine. I'll put a link below for this. If you don't win it and it's something you want, you can go check them out. I don't think it's super expensive, and it looked like the reviews did really well. So, and there's a little app thing here for your phone. So go down there, like I said before, comment. I don't care what you say. Say you liked the video, you hated the video, whatever you say, as long as you're subbed to the channel, that's all it takes. And I'll tally up the comments, and we'll pick a winner for both of these on Thanksgiving night, coming up here before long, actually, next month. So this is the end of October. So appreciate you guys. Thanks for each and every one of you. We're sitting 6,300 and change, or 6,300 and change on subs. I really appreciate that. We're trying to grow the channel, and just to give some good content and get out there and ride, man. I know I've done some. I will throw in occasionally. I have something really cool. This channel kind of started out as drag racing and tool reviews and stuff, and kind of retired from the drag racing just because it gets into your pocket. But I occasionally will do a really cool video about something that's happened back in the shop about, oh, I figured this repair out, and I'll just do, like, especially on my shorts. I'm not a big fan of YouTube shorts, man. I feel like they take away from the channel. I hate that, but I feel like that's just that short form content just isn't me. But that's what they want me to do, so sometimes I'll do a cool little repair video. So if that stuff gets on your nerves, just swipe away. If you're here for the videos, for the bikes, I get it. I definitely could maybe start another channel for that, but it just gets into a time thing, you know. So, but anyway, I'll quit rambling. I appreciate you guys for hanging out with us, and share this video up with anybody you want, and that way maybe they can have a chance to win the stuff there. And I would really love it if you guys got to check out some of this footage, man. As you can see here, if you fall here, you're going in that river. So this is pretty much what the whole state is made of. And I tried to watch videos that had the least of this exposure, but I never really found too many. So we ended up riding a good bit of it. Now Cody and I did something. We did a lot of our own routes that were more Jeep trails than they were this single track, just because we kind of had a lot of gear with us, and the T-Dub isn't really something you want to rip up single track with. I mean, it did fine, but the suspension isn't kind of like a KTM or nothing, you know, that really is geared for this kind of riding. Look at that, man. Look at those mountains. This internet down here isn't the best, so I don't really have it in 4K, but just look at that valley. And I mean, that's God's country, man. It was just so fantastic. But anyway, I'll quit rambling. You guys make sure and hit that like button if you like what you see. Think about subbing to the channel and come back for the next one. And I really appreciate you guys. Okay? You guys take care.